guys, welcome back to the next episode of the Next Checkpoint. I'm Dan Underdog.
I'm Media Man.
Captain Orbit.
That guy named Ben.
Woo! And yeah, so before we get started into the topics for this episode, we have a small, well, actually, it's not really a redaction. It's a confirmation.
I was right.
Yeah.
Oh.
When we talked about last episode, we were talking about the Nintendo Switch rumors.
Right.
And you had mentioned that the release date was, you had heard, in March.
Right.
Which was March
17th, I believe.
17th.
Yeah.
Okay, and that is confirmed.
March 2017. I don't know if it's March 17th.
There was a 17 in there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
sure.
It's March 2017.
As if we all if only we had a device that we could just look it up.
Sorry,
we
guys.
had one job. One job. Okay.
We all have smartphones and all.
I'm literally like...
Exactly. Okay. So, so the Switch is being released in 2017.
Yes.
In March?
In March, yeah.
Okay.
Right. It is March 2017.
Okay.
It does not have a specific date.
That's what I was saying, was 17.
It was officially announced on Jimmy Fallon last week.
Right.
That was last week, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So it's official, March 2017.
Okay.
And they're actually going to announce more details on January 12th, which is legitimate. You know, it gives them, 3 months to
Do whatever last changes they want, I guess.
So,
okay.
we'll know what price and all that.
Do you guys want to get into the fact that they released information on Jimmy Fallon?
Instead of a large gaming conference that just happened slightly before.
Yeah.
I like Jimmy Fallon. I do.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of hardcore gamers and gaming channels.
That maybe don't watch Jimmy Fallon?
Yeah.
Or that maybe watch Jimmy Fallon but would like more information than just
The
Jimmy
thing
Fallon
I will say
playing
is
with it?
Jimmy Fallon is almost always on the homepage of YouTube.
That's true.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
I think
That's true.
anybody
That's
going
true.
to YouTube is going to see that.
I just find
true.
it ironic though because I as you guys know, I do YouTube and Let's Plays and stuff, and I'm usually playing when Jimmy Fallon's on.
Man.
Yeah, I mean,
I work all day, and the only I make time for WoW and Overwatch, and
we
so
have
it's
real jobs.
Yeah, between the hours of maybe 11 o'clock and 3 a.m. That's all I'm getting in whatever gaming I can.
Yeah.
I'm not watching Jimmy Fallon, but he does.
I have lots of free time.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
So Ben should know all kinds of stuff.
Anything YouTube related.
He's your guy.
You just ask him.
I think it kind of, somewhat for me anyway, I should say, it kind of goes back to what I was saying in the last episode, where it kind of makes me nervous that Nintendo still has this mentality of, we're making consoles for the family room.
Yeah.
And they're not really addressing the gamers that are competitive, the gamers that want hardcore content, that want to play more like Call of Duty or things like that. Mm-hmm. It seemed, and this move with Jimmy Fallon, it kind of feels the same. I mean, it's not really, I don't know. It still doesn't leave the same kind of a direct impact. Like when they did the Wii commercials where it's like, we would like to play. And then they showed them playing with grandma and grandpa and stuff. That was pretty direct.
Yeah, shove over Nana.
Yeah.
It's hardcore gamer time.
Direct is what it was.
No, but and obviously this wasn't as direct as that. It just makes me nervous that instead of doing what Sony does, what Microsoft does, and they go to E3 or they go to BlizzCon or they go to one of these big conventions and say, hey guys, you love the Nintendo, you love Mario, you love Zelda, here's the next greatest thing that's going to blow your mind. Instead it's like, hey, we're on the Jimmy Fallon show, and let's let Jimmy play with the new Nintendo Switch. And it's, okay.
And I think as someone who wants to be able to stream this thing and wants to be able to there's a lot of questions. Again, this is coming from my side of things. I understand. Maybe if you care about that, it doesn't matter to you. But for me, I want to be able to. That was brilliant, right? You don't care about it. It doesn't matter to you. But I want to be able to stream things. I want to be able to do that kind of thing, and they haven't answered those questions. And they're going to announce that January 12th, including the price. And is it going to be like the NES Classic, where they're going to make 5 per store?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I want this machine. I'm sold on it. because the whole tablet thing, playing Zelda on the tablet, I don't care if it's more powerful or less powerful than the PS4, but and that's kind of my take on it as well.
That's fair.
I don't know. I can see what you're saying. I feel like Nintendo is always at the forefront of family gaming.
Yeah.
And I think with the exception of probably Smash Brothers, I don't think there's really a lot of call for competitive or speedruns. I guess speedruns are probably the extent of competitive gaming that Nintendo...
Well, what about Super Smash Brothers?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is I think Smash Brothers is the only game, which, and I think it kind of goes to the next level of what is a competitive console game that you go to see competitive play? There just isn't. When you think about it,
consoles.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, technically you could put Overwatch in there, sort of.
But I mean, you just go PC for that, or
but I would say they have some. I'm thinking right now for some reason I'm thinking of Splatoon. I think I said that right. They have this game called Splatoon. It's this very friendly kind of, but very multiplayer centric.
Yeah, and I think
not eccentric, but
yeah. Well, I think the point that I'm trying to make is I agree with you in the sense of like the hardcore gamer, people who want to buy this console.
Right.
And if you look at it from a perspective of one of the launch titles is going to be Skyrim, and that's a hugely popular, very not family-oriented game simply because it's a single player, first of all,
Right.
And I think having Bethesda in their corner and having that as a launch title, not just we're hoping to have, this. I think the fact that they're saying, no, this is going to be a launch title, I think that says a lot for where they're going with it.
Yeah. But I do want to, just because I want to kind of put this out there that I did just recently hear something about Bethesda saying they're not sure how much they're going to support it now because they don't know how much power it really has. Not that should be the reason. And they said that Skyrim isn't officially a launch title. I think it's officially unofficial.
Really? Because it was in the launch video, so I would assume they would back it up. And I can understand why they would take that back. I'm concerned about a Mass Effect Wii version, like what they did with the Mass Effect Wii. That's what I'm worried about. Skyrim, Nintendo version, where you're like, okay, here's the base game. I don't expect them to do mods. I don't expect them to do any sort of fancy. I expect it to be the remastered game.
I love the idea of Skyrim on a tablet you can take anywhere. And if it works the way it's supposed to work, I'd buy it just for that. And Zelda. It's a little game named Zelda. But
a tablet with 3-hour battery life, though.
Yeah, that's
good enough for me, though, because I take the bus. I take the bus, and it's like an hour and a half ride, and that's more than enough time for me to take it out of the docking station,
which makes sense, but I'm also thinking, like when I travel to different conventions and things like that, is it going to last? Because I just went to San Diego to TwitchCon, and I used my phone or whatever I had, and I'm on the bus and the train and whatever, because it's like $600 to fly to San Diego for some reason. Yeah, so I'm like, I'll just take Amtrak, we're good. But, I had my handheld, I had my other things, and I would love to be able to use that, but I'm thinking if it's 3-hour battery time or something, things going to die before, but I would love that.
Well, and the other question mark is, I think it would also depend on what title you're playing, right? Because games have different demands. So if you play Skyrim, you probably only get 2 hours out of it, whereas if you're playing Mario Kart, you might get 5 hours out of it. So I think that'll be the other thing where I'm not sure how they're going to really handle that side of it,
Yeah, I will say this, and Nintendo, if you're listening, because I know you watch my show, indie games, if they had some good indie games, I'd love to play some of those on a train or a plane, because those aren't
they're
intensive, but they're fun.
Well, I wonder if I think they said 3 to 4 hours was like the specific number they gave. I want to know if that's like the minimum, or is that going to be like the maximum?
Is that idle time?
Yeah. Is that with airplane mode on, just sitting there,
Is that Skyrim or, puzzle?
Yeah. Exactly. Are we playing Bejeweled or what,
Yeah.
All right, well, all that to say, the Switch is coming out, confirmed in March, so that we've been told, in March 2017, and again, they'll be releasing more information in January, so
January 12th.
Stay tuned for that.
11 o'clock, apparently, Pacific time or something.
Wow.
Okay. Oh, and can I add just real quick? I'll make this super quick. But they did say that there's a way. Look online for this. I don't remember the dates. I'm sorry, but that you can actually play the Switch early, especially if you're like a Nintendo. What do they call it now? Like a member? I forgot.
Pro member or whatever.
Pro member, whatever. Sorry, guys. I'll look it up next time. I'll have it for you when it's over. But if you're part of their thing, then you can actually be able to see it early.
Okay.
It's going to be in LA and all these different cities. They have this like posted. Just look it up on Google.
Yeah. So New York.
Oh, thank you.
Japan.
Google's your friend.
Toronto. Or, I mean, I know Japan's a country, but so Tokyo, Japan.
The city of Japan.
Tokyo, New York, Toronto, Washington D.C., San Francisco, February 24th and through the 26th.
Yeah.
So February 24, 25, 26, San Francisco.
So if you don't have a Nintendo account, it's a good time to do that.
And then it ends in LA.
Okay.
Yeah, in LA. Yeah. So.
All right. Well, let's move on to the first topic then.
Yes.
All right. So. On the same theme of the Nintendo Switch, let's talk about kind of in the future. Could you foresee the Nintendo Switch possibly, because it is portable, replacing the 3DS and I'm saying 3DS like what's out right now, but I'm saying like, do you think the Game Boy is on its way out and the Switch will be the new all covers everything?
Like no more 3DS.
Yeah, no more 3DS, no more Game Boy, nothing like that. It's just
no
the
more
Switch covers, because I guess from one way you can look at it, I'm not saying this is my opinion, but one way you can look at it is the Switch is now taking the best of what Nintendo has always been good at, which is handheld systems, and bringing it to the console, which they've been okay at, and trying to make a mega, console that will do everything at once.
Yeah, I think one of the big factors. I've been flip-flopping. Never mind. But I've been flip-flopping back and forth on the whole topic, thinking about it a lot. And I think a lot of it is going to depend on the battery life of the Switch, because you can, the 3DS has a really good battery life, and if you close it, you can carry it with you and open it, and it's the same. It doesn't die. And the Switch, I'm not sure if it's going to have a sleep mode or how that's going to work, and I don't know how good the battery life is. I mean, yes, the games will look amazing, but how much are you going to care if you're playing Skyrim for an hour and it dies? So there's something to think about.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the case is if it's like 3 to 4 hours of actual play time, and maybe it's like 10 hours standby time, I think that would go a long way. Yeah. But yeah, I think you're right. I think the battery life is what.
See, I want it to jump up to be like a phone, and it's like you can use it for 10 hours. To me, at that point, then it's replacing the 3DS at that point. Yeah. Until it gets to 8 hours, even that you could play it a whole day and it'll last. I don't see it.
I think what's going to happen. This is just me projecting, and I think that it's going to have a 3 to 4 hour battery life, and someone like Nyko or someone like is going to come out with an attachment about that big. No, it's a small that you can attach to the back. Yeah, that's going to give it another 6 hours or something. Yeah. Then that might be worth it, because I love playing my tablet, but I hate tablet controls. Yeah, I don't like that virtual, especially with an action game or a shooter. And if they can do that, that's what the Switch is to me. It's a really nice.
Yeah. Well, okay. So like as a Nintendo fanboy, though, am I going to want to fork out $200 for the next handheld system and $250 for the Switch?
If you're a fanboy, yes.
Okay. That's true.
And I think another thing that's going to keep their handhelds in their console system is as long as they're putting out games that are specifically for those things. Right. If they were like, hey, here's Mario Kart and it's for both of them. Here's Star Fox and it's for both of them. Here's Zelda and it's for both of them. Then at that point, it's sort of like, well, do I need one or the other?
But haven't they been doing that already, though? With Wii and 3DS? Like, both of them have Zelda titles. Both of them have Mario Kart titles.
But they're not the same Zelda titles.
It's not the same games.
I think... and I agree with what you're saying, but I think part of it is the 3DS is a handheld. You bring it with you. You can't bring the Wii with you. That's on your TV. Yeah. And part of the reason I'll buy Zelda on the 3DS and I'll buy it on the Wii because, if I'm waiting, for someone to go shopping or, whatever, and I'm just sitting there, it's like, oh, cool, I can, get some Zelda in or whatever. So I think that, I don't know, I think it all depends on I go back to the battery life. That's a big
Yeah.
deal for me. It really is.
I think as long as there's specific games for the console, specific for the handheld, and battery life, I think
And-
those two things are gonna.
The other thing is,
Determine it.
yeah, exactly. And I think the other part for me too is and I am a fanboy, especially of Zelda. So my question is it going to have a Zelda, and when is it going to have a Zelda? Because I already said Zelda's not going to launch with the Switch. You know, and I always say I'm not going to buy it.
What is launching? If Skyrim doesn't launch, if
They're supposed to be, and this is just like a
Switch Sports. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh, my
History
gosh.
repeats itself.
Oh, we keep going to control the Switch tablet at the screen, you know. I'm sorry if you broke your TV because you threw the controller at it, you're a moron.
Yeah.
I know. Controversy.
Yeah.
I hurt someone's feelings. But,
Triggered.
trigger. Oh. And our channel's now been shut down. But, no, that's a really fair question. I just think that if you have your Zelda, they are going to come out with Mario, supposedly. This is just like that March thing. Remember I said March last time? I was right. I think this is correct too. I think maybe, possibly.
Remember, I was right that one time, so I'm probably right about this too. So yesterday I said it was going to
go with
rain,
that
and
right now.
Exactly.
Well, no, okay, it's just like I haven't been wrong yet
Yeah, okay.
on this show.
That's had 2 episodes.
Yeah. This is just important love I have on this show.
That's
But no, in all seriousness, I am pretty sure, 90% sure, that they are going to have a Mario title. It's going to be like a Mario Tactics or something, and some other stuff. So they will have stuff. The launch lineup does look pretty cool. I can't remember all the games, but there's also going to be a lot of, you can get this on the Wii U. Because they've announced like 5 or 6 titles that
why?
Well,
Just let it go.
right?
If you
Just
wanna
take it
buy
out back and
Wii U,
shoot it. You're done, kid. You're done.
Exactly.
Well, you know,
Admit it, Nintendo. It's your Dreamcast.
well,
Wii U, it's your
what's funny,
Dreamcast.
and I think we mentioned this before, like with the Wii U, we're not going to go off on this, but just on the Wii U, I went today to look at presents for people at this game store, and the Wii U was
We can bleep it out.
yeah, you know,
I went shopping at.
the Wii U was like $300, and the PS4 was $250
Yeah.
with the game, and I just
You know what's funny? Actually, I went to a GameStop the other day, and they didn't even have a price tag on the Wii U. I think even
they were embarrassed.
They were
There's
just
no store.
buy one, get one. Like, they just don't even care at this point.
The price is.
Well, here's the thing, and I will add this: you can, for $190, you can get a blast from the past. I can speak English really well.
You can get a retro console.
You can get a retro console Wii U for like $190 with some games if you order it online. So, whatever. But it's still funny to me. I don't know. Anyway, but back on the Switch thing, what do you think?
I kind of agree with the 2 points where one, there's been a huge history of a difference between console games and handheld games. Right now you're playing Fire Emblem, right? You're playing Fire Emblem. There have been Fire Emblems for consoles. However, it's predominantly kept to a 16 to 32-bit game style. And I don't think anyone wants to shell out for a home console system to play a 16-bit game, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like Pokemon is, if not the seller for, handhelds, it's definitely up there. If you look at when you're comparing Zelda titles, the difference between Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, and Phantom Hourglass, it's
obvious.
They're designed for a handheld platform.
That's true.
And I think as long as Nintendo wants to keep pushing that, I think that's what's going to keep the 3DS alive. I have a new 3DS. I'm pretty sure all of us have a 3DS, right? Yeah, we all do. We all love it. We all play it.
It's
and I don't plan on getting a new handheld because the 3DS does everything that I need it to do.
Ocarina of Time on the road. I'm just saying. I mean,
and that's exactly it. Like, there are just so many things that I feel the 3DS does and does so well that I don't think Nintendo would have a reason to replace it.
Actually, let me interrupt you there because that's actually a prime example. Ocarina of Time is not a 16 and 32-bit. It's a port of a console onto the 3DS.
Right.
So what's just stopping Nintendo from saying, "Oh, well, you love the new Zelda on the Switch. Let's release it as a remastered."
Because it's still a 64-bit, or it's still a 128. or 60. Was it a 64? It was
It was
64-bit,
64,
right?
64,
Yeah, because it was for
yeah.
N64.
Yeah,
Yeah,
64. Yeah.
So it's still a 64-bit game. You know, like you don't,
But it is 3D now.
And you can also look at it from the
And it
standpoint
looked
of
phenomenal. They did do a lot of work on that.
yeah, they redid it, and
stuff.
especially like when they released the Virtual Console.
Right.
So it's like yeah, you can play those old games, but if you look at the Wii controller, there was a D-pad and 2 buttons, so it was essentially an original NES. You know,
and they are releasing technically Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Star, I believe, right?
It's called Stars.
Pokemon Star.
Stars, whatever. Yeah, MB Star. Yeah.
Now, my thing for Pokemon Star, if it were coming out for the Switch, it would have to be a Skyrim-esque game. It would have to be an open world that you can traverse, you can walk around. I don't want Pokemon on my console. They did that for Pokemon Stadium. You could plug your old games. It was cool because then you could watch it on a screen this big. But it's like at this point, that's just. And I know you're gonna love what I'm gonna say because it's gonna point every single thing that you said. It's just a novelty at that point.
Right.
It's just a gimmick.
I'm sorry. I do have to tell you guys why I laughed, just so people don't think I'm crazy. When you said like if the Pokemon game was kind of like a Skyrim for the on the Switch, I was just thinking that Skyrim has like these fatalities and
yeah, right.
Fatality.
So they're not fainting anymore. You know, they're just straight up dead. So.
I lost to Ash.
Yeah. But to actually kind of segue into that, I've been playing a lot of the pet battles in World of Warcraft now, and I got to a point where I'm kind of like, I enjoy the dungeons, but I was just like, what do I want to do in my off time while I'm waiting for someone to get on or whatever. I started doing pet battles, and it's so much fun.
Yeah.
It kind of brings you back to like the old Pokemon days when you didn't have to worry about like, I know that they always had EVs and IVs and stuff,
right?
But it's a bit more simplistic. But the thing that made me love it so much are the 3D environments. Being able to see, whatever Orgrimmar in the background and all that stuff is just really, really cool. And if they don't do something like that, sorry, Bill, let you go.
No.
Even the last one I played was X and Y.
Right.
Whenever you battle, it's still generic wetland or generic desert or the arena looks the same wherever you are. It's just a desert or a mountain. And I think the difference is if they did something for the Switch, they would have to utilize their capability to do fully rendered, different 3D environments based on where you are in the map.
It's the way my brain works. But you were talking about pet battling and WoW and all that. And I just thought, how cool would it be to have WoW on Switch or something like that where you can grind on the road?
There's Force Gaming, really great YouTuber. If you look up Force Gaming, he actually did a mod of World of Warcraft where it put the camera in a third-person action, and he rigged it to a controller. And so he played as warrior, and he played it, and it was cool, awesome. And he was saying if they theoretically, if they wanted to port it to consoles, it could work. It wouldn't nearly be as intuitive as it is for PC, but it could very possibly, and that's exactly.
But I will say this: Blizzard has become a lot more obviously friendly to consoles, and there was all this rumor that WoW was going to come to one of the consoles, and they had said at one point, I remember an interview a while back, if they could do it comfortably on the console and they liked it, that it could happen. So Diablo 3 is fantastic on consoles.
I preferred it from consoles.
To keep this video from going into like 3 hours long, the topic, will the Switch replace the 3DS? I think we can all just agree, not yet, right?
Yeah.
Not yet.
No.
Well, I think like anything else, because if you remember when the 3DS came out, a lot of people still had their DSs for a while. It's the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Eventually, maybe, but I think there's going to be some third help.
But then, we were talking about it. Maybe that's why they called it the Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. They want
maybe that's why they called it the Switch. They want you to switch it up a little bit and start using that.
New topic.
So for the next topic, let's talk about our favorite mobile games. What are the games that you've played on your phone? It doesn't necessarily have to be the longest amount of time you've played, although that'll count too if you want.
Some of those ones.
It could also be just, I played this and it was fun. I only played it for 2 weeks, but man, it was fun. Like whatever you guys wanted to bring up. So, you want to maybe go this way this time?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This time.
Yeah, because last time it was just the three of us.
Yeah.
We started with John, I think, right?
Yeah.
All right. Longest time spent on a mobile game once again, I always have the embarrassing answers, but it's got to. Did anybody play Subway Surfer?
Yes, actually I did.
It's honestly, I was looking for games. It's still in the top 5.
Yeah.
Still.
Really?
I got to a point. I seriously had like a run where I had like 50 million points, and my fingers were aching, and I just thought, I have to die. I mean, I just can't. My fingers cannot literally go on anymore. So, like, time spent on a mobile game, honestly, would have to be Subway Surfer.
Okay.
He's gonna die with Subway Surfer.
We went to go visit our brother, and he had just moved into his house, and he didn't have Wi-Fi or anything at the time. And so we whenever we'd go down to Safeway, we would like update the game, and then like when we'd go back to the house, that's all we had because he didn't have cable. I mean, this makes us sound so spoiled, but like he didn't even have a TV like set up or anything, so he didn't have like anything. And
so we were just
sitting there, just Subway surfing all.
No CRT, nothing.
Nothing, man.
Wow,
He had an old dilapidated Mac.
We lived in a
that
cave.
we were like watching. Like, yeah,
And also, I think my soul is like 80 years old because I still have a special place for Words with Friends as well.
Okay.
I love word games. Any sort of like word games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just get the worst
totally
letters
do
for that game, though.
Yeah, you
It's
end
like
up
all
with like
vowels, you know, like
QXXRZ and like,
you actually get consonants. That's awesome.
Okay, that's
Anyway.
fair. That's fair.
I know I'm the lame guy. I'm the lame guy. I get it.
That's cool, man.
My favorite
You're
game to
cool.
play on phones is How Awkward Can I Make This Group Text? And it's the best game of all time.
That's not an official game, though. Come on,
We gonna play today. No,
next random level.
this is no surprise to anyone at this table. Summoner's War.
What?
Summoner's War. I've been playing for almost.
surprise.
It's a little under 2 years now. They actually just had their 2-year anniversary a few months back, and I've been playing it since I think February or March of last year. So I've been playing it almost 2 years. I used to play a game called Knights and Dragons, which I really loved, but it got to the point where if you wanted to be competitive in any way, you had to pay, and you had to pay a whole lot, like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars per war, not just for packs, but like per war. Top guilds were spending upwards of 10 grand a war to get one piece of armor per war. And
Must be nice.
yeah.
I think my car's worth 10 grand.
I don't have any. I don't have 10 grand in the bank. Like I don't have 10,000 to spend on anything.
Do I have 10 bucks in the bank?
And so at that point, I was part of a top 25 guild, and I was like, "This is great. This is cool. You know, it's really fun." And then I started learning just how much everyone else in my guild was playing, and I started feeling guilty because I'm, you know, free to play, and everyone else is like, "Oh yeah, I only spent like 100 and something this war," and I'm like, "Oh my god, like
this war, not even the full game."
Yeah, and I'm
war.
it's literally just the war, and I felt like such a scrub because I'm like, I don't deserve to be here, you know. So
Look, your sword is flaming.
yeah. So I start, but that being said, it's a fantastic game, so much fun. If you don't mind doing like competitive wars, you know, it's absolutely worth your download and worth your time. But as I was browsing around looking for something,
you have way more money than you know what to do, right? It is the greatest.
I know. I was probably playing my kids from
That's
like.
all of us at this table.
I was playing with like families from the Hamptons or something. I'm sure, you know, like everybody was like, "Oh, Knights and Dragons," you know. But yeah, so as I was browsing around for a new game, obviously, I came across Summoner's War, and I saw. If anybody knows anything about me, I love dragons. More than anything else, I love dragons.
I'm with you.
So I saw a dragon and an archangel in this, and I was like, they look pretty cool. I'll try that out, you know? Summoner's War is a very, very, very healthy and engaging blend of Pokemon and Final Fantasy-esque gameplay. There are different elements. There's like fire, wind, water, light, dark. They kind of do like a rock, paper, scissor type thing. You can, you know, catch different, every monster has like, they have different drop rates and stuff. So except for Dog here, who's got magic fingers, like natural 5-star monsters are called Nat 5s. Those are the rarest ones in the game. How many do you have now? What?
I don't know.
He literally pulled 4 in what, a week and a half?
2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, he pulled 4.
We were once friends.
I've pulled 4 in nearly 2 years. I've pulled 4.
Jealousy is ugly.
Yeah. So like, and don't let that turn you off to the game. You can pay, but paying does not guarantee you a win. Paying gives you more chances to get monsters.
Right.
So you can't pay and go because I spent, $1,000. I have better monsters. I have better anything.
You just have less money to make.
It's exactly, and that's the thing. Like I bought, I think to this point, I think I've spent $130 total buying like different packs and stuff. And this guy, but I mean, once again, that's over the course.
That's all.
That's over the course of 2 years. So
I'm the free app guy. I'm like, if it's 99 cents, I'm like, are you kidding me?
That's the thing. I would never buy a game, but I was like, yeah, I'll pay $40 for this. It's like, oh no, I'm not gonna pay for that. But yeah, so like over the course of 2 years, over the course of 2 years, I have spent money on the game. I felt it was completely justified because of the amount of time that I spent on this game.
For 2 years.
Oh no. What was the richest app or whatever it's called?
Yeah, there's like there's like an app called I'm Rich or something, and it's like $9,000 or something.
What?
And there's no function. There's no function. You buy it.
You buy it to show that you're
To be clear, that's not one of our favorites.
No.
John's like, whoops.
That was the first app I ever bought.
Boy, is my wife mad at me now.
Now, see, you could buy I'm Rich, or you could play One War in Knights and Dragons. It's up to you. It's up to you. What do you want? How rich are you?
Well, I'm selling my Toyota now.
Yeah. So anyway, Summoner's War, absolutely fantastic game. It has a little bit of a slow startup, I will admit. But once you start getting into it, it has the option to...
Sorry, not $9,000. $999.
Oh,
that's okay. So I'll just buy it 9 times over.
Absolutely.
So see, all those Knights and Dragons are going these scrubs. They're $1,000 app.
Here's what the I Am Rich app did. All it did would display the text saying, "I am rich. I deserve it. I am good, healthy, and successful."
Yeah.
So it's like a little pep talk,
So, because I want to get back to Summer's War, because I love it as well. Can you talk a little bit about the battles? About kind of there's a function that I love.
Autoing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Auto battle.
So there's the option where once you get your monster strong enough, you have the option to automatically fight. And so it's not obviously as intuitive as like a human saying, I'm going to use this skill at this time, but it gives you the option to farm things for runes or money or levels, things like that. And it's so nice because you can be playing anything. You can be watching a movie. You can be doing whatever you want. And I'll be sitting there playing WoW or Overwatch or Left 4 Dead or whatever. And I'll just hit play and I'll let it farm a little bit. And then I'll come back and I'll let it
Sometimes
farm.
on he'll have 2 games.
I just said Overwatch and Summoner's War. That's all I have.
I have Overwatch and Summoner's War. He has Summoner's War on his phone and on his tablet. And so he'll be like playing a video game and then like doing Summoner's War at the same time.
I do have an alt, I'll say. I started the alt because I wanted to have a completely free to play. Right. And even on my alt account, by the time he was level 14, I know that's scrubbed lord to you. By the time he was level 14, I already had a Nat 5. So it is possible. It's not just for high level players. Yeah. But I wanted to see, and funny enough, it was the exact same Nat 5 I got on my main account.
Oh,
the exact same one. And I was like, oh, okay. So it does give you the option to have 2 completely different experiences. For me, for my main account, I got mostly wind monsters. For some reason, John's getting mostly water monsters. On my alt account, it's just kind of a menagerie of defensive monsters, things like that. So no 2 playthroughs, even if you start it over again and again, will ever be the same. You get different monsters have different drop rates. You can farm something. I farmed one spot. This is going to turn some people off. I farmed one spot for like 2 weeks trying to farm this one monster, and my cousin got him in 8 hours. So it's like it's all RNG. The battles actually do take into account runes, because if I have a monster and you have a monster, but they're runed differently, runes can give you additional attack power, more defense, an opportunity to stun the enemy, different things like that. And so whenever I get into a battle, you don't know how the enemy's runed. So you kind of have to take into preparation, like, okay, he could hit me really hard, or he could just be a huge damage sponge. It'll take me forever to kill him, I was actually just doing a guild battle before this. They heard my cries of frustration, and I was fighting an incredibly tanky monster who had 100% resist. So all of my attacks, I landed no debuffs. and he just went lol, and then healed himself back, So it's like, things like that can be kind of maddening. I didn't take that into account. Maybe he has 100% resist, and I'm going to do nothing to him, Fantastic game. Easily my favorite. As I said, I've been playing it for about 2 years now. I think I was supposed to do a review for your site.
Yeah.
Months
Hopefully
ago,
we'll
8 months ago, easily, but
the captain will have one up,
momentarily.
the 5-year anniversary, it'll be up by then.
Yeah, right. By the time it's gone.
Sometimes in Words with Friends, I get a triple letter score.
That's pretty cool.
That's a pretty exciting experience.
Do you screenshot it?
Yeah.
Be like, check it out, guys.
I got to say, because I play the game too. I didn't say well, but I do play it. That is exciting.
Cat.
When you play that J on a triple letter.
Yeah, you're done. Yeah, go home now.
No feeling like it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll move on.
So
Favorite.
Okay, so I'm gonna do it. I hit the wrong button. I'm gonna do it a little bit differently and kind of go over a few games, so I won't spend too much time on them. But we will have some videos up somewhere, right? Yeah. The first one I want to talk about is Oceanhorn. It's Horn.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
This guy again.
I know.
but he's right before.
He was right one time before, so maybe.
Yeah. For real. It's Oceanhorn. But it's a Zelda kind of style game, very much like the old, gorgeous graphics. I mean, but it's top down, And I put a lot of hours into it. Just, it's cool. You can push crates and even like
Crate Simulator
I think
2016.
you can start up like on the beach or something. Surprise.
Is there kind of a basic story to it? Or?
No. Just push crates.
Well, some games are just like you just get in there and you just fight monsters.
It's basically Crate Pusher 2017, but it's just a really, really good adventure game. Very family friendly kind of. And I love, like I say, I make it no secret that I love Zelda. So that one's fantastic. Another game is Angel Sword, which is a 3D gorgeous looking game. I mean, it reminds me of a lot of like an Elder Scrolls style game, except you have wings and you can actually fly above everything. And, you do have a little bar and you can build it as you go, but just amazing, graphically and fun to play, and you can get lost in the world. And to bring it down a little bit, Peggle.
This guy had an addiction to Peggle. Yeah. And there is no game that makes you feel better about winning than Peggle.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole fan.
Like rainbows and confetti and music.
And it goes in slow motion. You're like, is it?
Yeah.
Boom.
And what's funny about it is, like, I have, I have it on the phone. I have it on my PC. I built this like beefy PC and Peggle. Yeah. But got it for Xbox. Any system I can get it on, I have it. And we even downloaded all the extra packs and get new characters and stuff like that to do these. And just kind of, if you haven't played it before, can you kind of explain a little bit?
It's kind of like the old, and I'll explain it a little bit more, but it's kind of like the old Bust a Move games.
Yeah,
where they had like the little different bubbles and
but
stuff.
Kind of from the other side.
Exactly. So it's like those old arcade games where like you would drop the ball and it would kind of like bounce around like this. So there are blue blocks and orange ones, and you're trying to get rid of all the orange blocks. So blue ones don't really count. So like once you get rid of all the orange blocks, you beat the level. So every character that you can play as has a different capability. So like there could be an alien, and if you hit a little green thing, then like the alien uses their special ability, or if it's like a seahorse, he'll make waves and do something, things like that.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun.
Absolutely worth your time. Absolutely worth your time.
And you can we like to kind of pass the controller around and see who can beat the
score
and stuff like that. But yeah, a lot of fun. I love the game. And the other thing is, did you talk about the power ups?
Yeah.
You didn't talk about the power ups yet.
Well, and that's new. Before you talk about power ups, Peggle is probably the one app that I would say they do have a free version.
Yeah.
Absolutely pay for the paid version. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's worth it.
I know.
Unless you're that guy named Ben.
Yeah.
I'll buy it for you. First person to message me on Twitter will get a free Peggle game. I'll do it. I'll give you a little $5 Google Play.
Come on, Ben, hurry up.
I know Ben's on.
But yeah, create a Twitter account first.
I have one. I think I'm like his only follower.
I follow 2 people, actually. Yeah.
Do you follow me? Probably not.
I literally just I had my
Follow me. No.
I had my Twitter in 2014. Okay. I've had it since April of 2014. I tweeted once. And I re-logged in after we started doing these because I was like, maybe someone out there is going, that Captain Orbit, and then I'm like, no, nobody wants
I want to see what's on his mind. Oh, nothing.
Yeah, literally. Actually, I did tweet. I tweeted for the first time in like 2 years or something, and it was something humorous and gaming related, but yeah, check it out.
So let me tag, we'll check it out. It's got some cool power-ups. We're running.
Yeah.
I don't want it to go again 3 hours.
Yeah. Sorry, John.
Real quick. I'm going to touch on a couple more games, but I'm not going to look them up. We'll have videos. One is Battleheart Legacy. Absolutely love it. It's one of those you click on the monster and you fight, and you give it some time because once you first start fighting like any RPG, all you can do is hit people. But once you start getting your spells and stuff like that, it's a lot of fun. Yeah. Love it. And there's different levels. So if you really suck at gaming, it's cool because there's like unlimited potions, or you can go hardcore. I have the one potion thing, and that's Bejeweled.
Yeah, Bejeweled. Knights and Dragons. Or not Knights and Puzzles and Dragons. That was another good one.
Right. So I mean, that's it for me. Did you have? Sorry.
I mean, it's okay. Honestly,
You have 1 minute.
I know. What do you want to do with your last 45 seconds?
I don't know.
I'll keep talking about Peggle. I don't care.
Yeah. No, honestly, the big game that I played, I no longer play it, but not because it was for lack of quality, but more because I became easily addicted to it. But that is Soccer Spirits, and it's another game that's also by the same people that do Summoner's War, Com2 US.
Bad start right there.
And, and the one thing, and I know I don't have a whole lot of time, but I'll say the biggest thing that sets it apart, because it's very similar to Summoner's War. Right. Instead of summoning monsters, you're summoning soccer players. It's very anime-ish.
That's an understatement.
Yeah. It is the most anime thing you will ever play.
Stereotypical anime, and be wary of small children. Or I should say, if you have small children, unless you're in a horror.
You should always be wary of small children. Just to be
on.
Trust me on that one.
There's a lot of suggestive clothing and stuff like that. So if that kind of stuff bothers you, then just so you know it's there.
It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Seen by children of corn.
But yeah, the one big thing that set it apart is the community. I have never, in consoles, in PC gaming, in mobile gaming, I've never been a part of a community that has been amazing, like Soccer Spirits. And not just the GMs, which are incredible, and they actually they're literally like practically begging people to play the game because they're giving stuff away constantly. And not stuff away like, oh, they gave me 300 gems, yay. Oh, here's a free Nat 5. Yeah. Just for like signing back in. Like it's legitimately awesome. But also the community
not begging
itself.
In like a pathetic way.
No,
it's a very cool way that
it's like hey, just come try us out. Here's a Nat 5 for playing the game,
Yeah, that's cool.
And the community itself is awesome. They're just amazing people to play with, and if you haven't tried it, check it out. Soccer Spirits, it's amazing.
It looks really good. I just don't want to do it because Summoners War is with you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, and even going back to the community, there are like chat channels in Summoner's War that people actively avoid because they are troll channels. You know, and I never got in. I played soccer one for maybe 2 or 3 weeks or something. Loved it.
All right, guys. So let us know in the comments what you thought about today's kind of discussions.
Only nice things because I'm sensitive.
No, they can say mean things about me. I'm the hate guy.
He feeds on despair.
But you do have a follow.
I do. I want to give a shout out to Kitty Chan.
Kitty Chan.
Woo! And my number one.
That's right.
Kitty Chan the fan.
That's right.
That's right. The fan.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so obviously we both have channels. You can find me Down Underdog and
Media Man.
Yeah, that's who you are.
That's who I am. Wait, well, let me check.
And then obviously these both have Twitters.
Every social media of mine is that guy named Ben.
There you go.
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same thing for me. You can find anywhere that you find a Captain Orbit, chances are it's me.
Yeah.
So.
All right, cool.
Not me though, because Media Man. There's another Media Man. If you're out there, so just look up, Media Man on YouTube and look up like Until Dawn or something, or one of Final Fantasy. Then you'll see all my stuff. And also, just real quick, I'm going to start doing this Make Media Man Miserable Mondays. So if you can think of a crappy game you want me to play, put it in the comments. SVP, PC, or PS4.
I'm going to wreck you.
Oh, I know. I'm crying on the inside right now. I'm like, what am I doing?
All right, guys.
All right.
Well, this is Dead Underdog.
This is Media Man.
This is your captain speaking.
And that guy named Ben.
And we'll see you guys at the next checkpoint.